That again, Tom Laney. He is the Executive Director of the Small and Veteran Business Programs, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And we're going to comment on some of this now with our next guest, who is Mr. Marc Goldschmitt from Goldschmitt and Associates. Marc, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're the CEO of the company. That's great. Just want to give a real quick bio here on Marc. Marc is a retired Naval Reservist. His active duty and reserve assignments included flight instructor, staff officer, organizational CIO, and support of major program offices, program executive offices, and the OPNAV staff. A certified program management professional, he is experienced in planning and organizing all business process information technology, production, lifecycle phases. Thank you for joining us. Now, you are a Vector Prime, and give us an idea of the benefit and opportunity that's available to veteran-owned small businesses and service to disabled veteran-owned small businesses with the whole Vector program.
I think Vector represents a significant opportunity for veteran-owned small businesses to start to do business within VA. The structure of Vector is such that it encourages the development and expansion of a veteran-owned small business industrial base and help provide the skills to the veteran-owned small businesses they can apply at VA and then take to develop business at other agencies. It's a large opportunity from the prime viewpoint to be able to bring on additional subs and help them to gain a foothold within VA. So I think I was asked a question earlier, how many subs can I have? There's no limit. But at the same time, there's a practical limit for what I need to be able to do to manage that group of subs and provide opportunities.
Excellent. I just want to program note, we do have a questions link underneath the video for emailing your questions in here to us. Please click here under that video player and you'll see that. In addition, I've also been told that apparently our front page of US Vets TV is linking to the September 27th webcast. If you are looking to get to the actual October 27th webcast, which is today, that's www.usvets.tv/series/vets, VETS, and you'll get right back. Let's continue with the interview with Marc. Marc, what do you expect from a subcontractor who wants to work with you?
I'm going to start off with a little bit of an unusual perspective, Dave, for that. And I think many of you, like I do, receive a whole bunch of calls from telemarketers, emails from telemarketers, mail from telemarketers. They're all asking me to donate my money, to donate my time, and there may or may not be something in return. So when I get a call from a potential subcontractor that says, I want to join your team, how do I differentiate between you and a telemarketer? What are you going to do for me and others to convince me that you make a viable subcontractor and not just another one saying, I want, I want, I want?
So what constitutes a relationship building process as that relates to the being procurement ready?
Tom Lenny has talked about the idea of market research, and in market research, who do you know, who do you like, who do you trust, and how do I get to you? Those are all long-term relationship building, and when you talk about networking events such as NVSBE, the National Veteran Small Business Coalition sessions in Norfolk and next year in Williamsburg, provide the opportunity to begin that process to get to know your potential prime contractors, to get to know your potential subcontractors, to understand what they can do, how they can work with you, and look at long-term partnerships.
Can you give us an overview of what IDIQ, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract, is, and how that works? So a subcontractor, whether they're from the tiers or they're outside and trying to get in, what happens with an IDIQ contract, administration and execution?
An IDIQ contract is basically a master ordering agreement that provides the equivalent of an easy button in certain areas of business or certain capability or functional areas. Within Vector, Tom mentioned the 6 functional areas. They're available online. And I think if you start looking through the different primes, some primes have service groups 1, or they may have 1 service group, some may have 2 or 3 or 4. But as you start looking at primes, you want to look at the service groups, what's in the service groups, and where you can fit in from a capability viewpoint within those service groups. So a lot of people have approached me with something that I don't do. I don't have a contract for under Vector. And when I see that, particularly the one that I'm referring to was many misspellings, showed a total lack of understanding. I can tell you exactly where that question is going to go, and it's directly in my file 13. So I need you to find some way that you can get to me, get to my people, and have me put it on the agenda that you got my interest. I want to talk to you some more.
So for the benefit of the subs out there who do want to get involved with you, what service groups are you, Goldschmitt and Associates has?
We're in service group 2.
Okay, and for the layman, what does that mean?
That's areas such as records management, analyses, reporting,
okay,
and financial management.
Al, I wanted to go to you. I know you've had some questions before too for Marc. Are you out there in California?
I am.
Can we go to you if you have questions for Marc here? Now would be the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Marc, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see all of your beard.
Well, I'll lift off my dress, okay? There you go. Do you see my legs?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, one of the key things is how do we streamline and make everybody's time more efficient, to your point. You know, we have a lot of veterans, 12,426 today, certified with the VA, or let me qualify, verified with the VA, as Tom alluded to. They're verifying our status. How can we create, from our point of view, to filter out those that when we connect them with you or you connect with them, we can say, hey, Marc, we filtered this out. These guys aren't operation ready, therefore they're not procurement ready. What's a good tool for you to where you can have your pool of subs in the event you need them and deploy them?
Al, could you repeat the last part of that question, please?
What tool do you need developed, and we can develop this to where we can filter out those that meet the service group 2 to support, your pool of people?
It's a matter of preparation on the part of a potential subcontractor to understand what's in service group 2 and to look at, do you indeed have those capabilities? Can you demonstrate those capabilities to me? Do you meet some of the basic requirements? Typically for Vector, it's going to be, are you a verified veteran-owned small business? There may be some more that are related to a specific procurement, which not necessarily here do I have specific certifications, which may be an ISO certification, or and I don't think they'll apply so much here, but you need to look at that to see for a specific procurement, what do I have, what do I need, and how do I match up with that? So you got to demonstrate to me capability that you have it, not that it's just in your brief. You want to have it, but do you have actually done the work? Compatibility is another term. Tom uses that a lot in terms of what they search for in NVSBE for their matchmaking. And that's a list of characteristics of the business, which could include what's the largest contract you've ever worked on, where are you geographically, what certifications do you have again. Then there's the area of risk. Tom was I think he underemphasized the issue of risk, but that's a problem for me too. You got to convince me that you can deliver and it's not going to put me in jeopardy when I'm doing work on the contract. So what can you show me that gives me some kind of good, warm, fuzzy feeling, I think is the best way to put it, that you're going to be a good teammate, not just on that procurement, but others. So they put those together really is demonstrate to me that you've got the capability, the compatibility, and a risk factor, and you put that in with the other of who do you know, who do you like, who do you trust, and how do I get to you. You put those together in building that relationship. It's not an instantaneous phone call. It may be a long time at 3 or 4 different national veteran small business engagements. It may be something where you have something to bring to me that's unique that you can take to the customer.
Okay, excellent perspective. Just out of curiosity, Vector's been around just about a month. Have you had conversations with the subcontractors?
I've had a number of conversations with small contractors. not only in the service group that I work in, but also we're looking for primes in some of the other service groups. So I'm subject to the same constraints you guys are in terms of being able to demonstrate I got the capability, I've got the compatibility, and I've got a low risk factor for them to bring me onto their teams to look at certain opportunities. And I look at that a little bit differently also. It's not just a matter of me looking at other contractors as a prime, but as I look at it as a subcontractor, I've got to be able to bring something to the table. You know, I want to be able to show them that I know the customer, I know what keeps the customer up at night, I know what the issues are, and I may have some idea because I've worked with the customer and know them, say here's an on the one hand, here's an opportunity, it's funded, and we can get in a position to influence the thinking of the customer. And on the other side, it may be something like I have something unique that I can bring to the table that we can develop an opportunity. Different rules. One is going to be something that's funded, maybe near term. The other is going to be longer term. But those are the two things that I would look for in a subcontractor to say, okay, let's talk some more.
Excellent. Al, any other questions for Marc?
No, Mark, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think what's important is research, recon, give the best feel based on what you need so they can demonstrate that they have what you're looking for. So thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And Marc, if people out there want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that? Website or email or?
Buy me a drink in a bar.
Put your email address up.
No, my email is Marc, M-A-R-C, at Goldschmitt, G-O-L-D-S-C-H-M-I-T-T, that's tango.com.
And we'll buy you a drink in a bar anyway. All right. Excellent. Now, before we go to Arthur Humphreys, who's the PTAC Procurement Technical Assistance Center out in New Mexico, we're going to go to a quick, from a prior sponsor of one of our events, Joe Busligo, Vietnam vet, service-disabled veteran-owned company, a company called Biosecurity Company, a company which actually makes bacteria, antibacterial impregnated hospital gowns, drapes, and clothing. So it's a very interesting company, and he's onto a very interesting market. Let's go to that now. Joe Busligo from the Biosecurity Company.